When reading the description for this film competition, something stood out to me. Mississauga is a big city filled with dynamic, creative people with big personalities, big ideas, and big ambitions. This is when I realized I actually have something in common with the municipal government. We're both highly ambitious, set lofty goals, and have elaborate expectations and visions for our futures. These are excellent qualities and not something I would ever want to discourage. However, I've noticed my own ambitious nature does not always lend itself to the most sustainable or actionable change. This is why I've decided to approach this project a little differently. I've asked Mississauga residents what smaller changes, ideally something that can be implemented in the next 6 months, they would like to see in their city's future.
That is a good question.
I'd like to see an art gallery that is improved over just being, say, the main floor of a city hall that you kind of pass by as you're approaching a clerk to discuss a menial city issue.
I used to be on the board of the art gallery of Mississauga, and I know how much the city spends per head on art sale to say Toronto, and it's a big difference because City of Mississauga probably spends 1/10 of what Toronto spends per capita.
Holds space for more entrepreneurs and businesses, so it becomes more of a creative hub.
The community spaces that are kind of like Celebration Square and that little square in Streetsville, but they're more accessible to people, and like me, someone like me can like go there and have my band play or organize an art show for my friends. If we could do that, that would fill the city with a lot of cool art, and there would just be a lot of cool stuff available for people to do.
Traffic control around schools and children, because I think this street, our particular street, which is a residential neighborhood that has 2 schools on it, I don't think we're any different than any other area of Mississauga. It is dangerous. Cars are driving too fast. There's crossing guards that aren't able to control what's happening. There are pedestrians illegally crossing. There's illegal parking. I can't even get out of my driveway. What is this?
Then if you compare what we have in terms of recreational infrastructure with, say, what's out in, say, any other city, say even in the greater Cleveland area or say the greater Boston area, it's not to that level.
So I think just having activities for all age groups that are catered towards the winter season, a lot more of them, so indoor activities, outdoor activities, I think it would help a lot in sort of battling seasonal depression, perhaps.
I know they have a discount for seniors and they have some free swimming as well if you're a senior, but for an everyday person like me that is still working age, it is quite expensive, so it would be nice if there was a little bit of a cheaper option, let's say, to be able to go to the community center and participate in the classes.
I love the exercise stations at the parks. They're a really good idea.
Maybe scooters or bikes being rented by the community. That would be nice to have it like how Toronto has all these bike renting stations. That would be really good to have within the next six months to get people involved and going around about within their community in Mississauga.
I think just having good cohesiveness in the community begins with kind of intermingling with all the different cultures and making everyone kind of feel comfortable being with each other.
Host events within your own community. Start small and work your way up from there, and just work with the locals around you and just have a good time with your own community.
I'm really passionate about this, but I feel like everyone should bring their own cups when they get coffee.
More trees planted. I really do believe that if we get at it in the next month or so, trees can be established and our oxygen levels can increase. We can deal with some of the carbon problems that we have in that way, and would love to get on a soapbox and discuss that further sometime.
I don't know if our everyday life is actually problematic at all. It's the bigger picture issues in my way of thinking, but I think if you tackle the big picture issues in small chunks, we'll get something done.
I'm not asking you to give up on the large goals and dreams that I know you hold for the future. I'm simply hoping that we remember the baby steps, the small incremental changes that become substantial when built upon each other.